Today I'm going to walk you through 5 positive and free ways to improve your state of mind. Question of the day is, what thoughts do you have on a regular basis that are not serving you and are even holding you back? I think we're all pretty aware that there are some substances that can change your state of mind pretty quickly and pretty easily, like alcohol, drugs, and even coffee for some of us. But a lot of times those things have some negative health fallout. So if you're interested in finding out some positive and healthy ways to improve your state of mind, fantastic, stay tuned. Number 1 is music. This is one of my favorite methods. Now, music can work on both sides of the spectrum. So if you're in a negative headspace, you're just in a funk, you're lonely, you're sad, you're depressed, you have to be really conscientious of what kind of music you're listening to and how that music is affecting you. I know that I used to have a really harmful habit of really playing into my depression and my lonely and down moods by playing music that would allow me to wallow in my self-pity. So anytime I was feeling down, I would listen to something like Linkin Park or Evanescence. And I mean, I love both of those artists. They are amazing and their music is fantastic and they're still some of my favorite music. But if you're in a negative space and you're listening to something that is going to keep you there, which I think is sometimes it's human nature for us to do that because we actually enjoy, or maybe not enjoy, we actually like to wallow in self-pity sometimes. But if you're looking to pick yourself up out of that funk, it's really important that you find music that is going to uplift you rather than keep you in that funk. I actually have several playlists now that do that for me, and it changes. It varies from day to day depending on what's going on, what exactly my mood is. So sometimes it's a salsa merengue playlist that will lift me up. Sometimes it's jazz. Sometimes it's some powerful pop or contemporary music. It really varies. Sometimes it's Christian music. It's kind of all over the map. But I have those go-to playlists so that I know if I am just not in a great place mentally and emotionally, those will be positive influences on my mood and on my mental state as opposed to being negative influences. Number 2, dancing. Music is obviously a great option, but it only gets you half the way, in my opinion. So Tony Robbins has actually been talking about this for eons. And if you don't know who Tony Robbins is, he's an amazing motivational speaker, leader, thought leader, influencer, and I highly recommend that you check out some of his videos, even if you're able to go to one of his events. I haven't been able to go yet, but that is definitely something that's on my bucket list to do. But he has been talking about this a lot, how we can change our emotions through motion. To change your emotion, put your body in motion. Working out is a great way to do this, and I highly recommend it, but sometimes you're in a space where you can't even get yourself to get up and go work out. You don't want to, or you're not in, you don't have the opportunity to do that in the moment. So you need to have something that's smaller than that, a small thing that you can do immediately. And dancing is one of those things. Plus, it has a lot of other added health benefits that working out alone doesn't necessarily have. A study led by the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York City, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, showed that dancing actually enhances neuroplasticity, which basically means that it improves brain function and memory. Plus, it burns calories, so what's not to love? There's an odd thing that happens when you dance. And I don't necessarily mean pro-level dancing, going out there and doing salsa and ballroom and any of that. I mean simply moving your body to music. And it doesn't even have to be to music, but just moving your body in a way that lifts you up. It's literally almost impossible to stay depressed when you're dancing. It's not only the physical movement that lifts you up, it's also the inner self-expression of the movement and connecting you with the music and with your inner self and being able to draw those emotions out of yourself and release them into the world. So find that music that you find it irresistible to move to and keep that in your pocket for a rainy day. Number 3, meditation. Now this is something that I've talked about before, and you'll probably hear me talk about it again. And of course, this is something that you hear people talk about all the time now. It's become pretty mainstream, and honestly, it's something that I've been hearing people talk about, especially a lot of successful and influential people talk about being so important in their daily routine. And I kept hearing that and telling myself, yeah, I really should start meditating. Like, that would probably help me. But I kept putting it off. And I just kept making excuse after excuse. And a lot of times it was something like, oh, I just don't have time to do that. Or I don't know how to meditate and it probably won't even help me. But really, there were just a lot of excuses. So once I was able to shed those excuses, I put meditation in my daily morning routine, and now I can't even live without it. There are so many benefits to meditation. It helps improve your sleep, which in turn improves your mood. It improves your energy, productivity. It reduces anxiety and stress. It can help you find clarity on what is truly important to you, and that can help you save time and energy and just help you connect to your values. It also gives you emotional stability to detach yourself from situations and see them objectively rather than reacting to them emotionally. And seriously, so much more. Meditation is so crazy that Massachusetts General Hospital did a study that showed that 8 weeks of meditation literally made measurable changes in areas of the brain that are associated with memory, sense of self, empathy, and stress. That's pretty cool, but don't take my word for it. Try it. What do you have to lose? You can get an app like Headspace and you can use it completely free. There is a full version that you can pay for, but you don't have to. You can use the basic free version and get everything out of it that you need, at least, to start off with, for sure. Number 4, perform an act of kindness. There's a saying that pain exists in the body, but suffering exists in the mind. When we are in a state of suffering, we are in a state of self-absorption. We are only thinking of ourselves and our pain in that moment. But have you ever noticed that if you start to think about somebody else in a kind way, that it completely takes your mind off of yourself and whatever pain it was that you were dwelling on and puts it onto that other person? You literally can't hold 2 thoughts simultaneously in your mind at once. So it goes to show, if you want to lift yourself up, lift someone else up and raise the tide. Side note, there's a saying that a rising tide raises all ships. So raise the tide. And this doesn't have to be some huge act of service where you go out and feed all of the homeless people in your area and go and volunteer at the local food bank. Those are all amazing things to do, and I highly recommend it if and when you get the chance. But I don't want you to be encumbered thinking that it has to be something big or nothing at all. Even the smallest act of kindness and service can do this for you. This could be doing the dishes at work, the dishes that pile up in the sink that nobody wants to clean, and everyone thinks that it's their own home and yet they don't have to clean the dishes. You know what I'm talking about? Those dishes? Yeah. Well, someone has to clean them at the end of the day. And depending on where you are, it's probably the same person every day who has to do that. So go in there and clean it for them. Think about how great that person is going to feel when they come in and see that someone else did it for them out of a random act of kindness. Think about how great that will feel. It's funny, if you're a fan of Friends at all, which I'm a huge fan, there's an episode where Phoebe and Joey are having a argument about acts of service, how there's no selfless act. And in a way, it's kind of true. I mean, you can do an act of service for with a selfless reason, but you're always going to get something out of it, like feeling on top of the world because you're an awesome person. Or even easier, you can reach out to someone. You can call or text if you don't feel up to calling, and just tell them how much you appreciate them. Tell them how much you love them and why you think that they're such an amazing person. Or you can give a random person or a coworker a compliment. And it doesn't have to be a big compliment, but the more personalized that you can make it, the better. If you can tell your coworker something other than just, "Oh, I love your hair today," give something a little bit more personal, like, "I love how you always make everybody laugh. I love your positive energy." Those kinds of things, even better. But seriously, it works. Give it a try. What do you have to lose? Nothing. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Number 5, doing active stretching and having good posture. Both of these things tend to open up your air passageways, and it allows you to breathe more fully. When you take a deep breath in, your heart rate quickens slightly. And when you breathe out, your heart rate slows. So when you do that repeatedly, you take some deep breaths. Repeated deep breaths will naturally bring your heart rate in sync with your breath. This then leads to your brain releasing endorphins, which are chemicals that have a natural calming effect on the body. So if you ever find yourself just in this space of anxiety and stress, if you take a minute and just stretch it out. Stretch it out. Go ahead. Do it right now. Stretch it out. Wherever you are. Stretch it out. Fix your posture. Take deep breaths. It's not just for yogis. You can do this anywhere. You can do this sitting at your desk at work. Do this and it will help to calm your body. Physically calm your body, which will then calm your mind. Those are my 5 positive and free ways to improve your state of mind. I really, truly hope that you're able to get something positive out of this that will help you. And if you did, if this video has helped you be better in any way than yesterday, please, please give it an enthusiastic thumbs up. Subscribe and turn on those notifications, and be sure to share this with the ones you love or anybody you know who could find this useful. Until next time, loves, may today be even better than yesterday. See you in the next video. Mwah.